There you go.
I'd like to call to order the Willington Inland Wetland and Watercourse Commission, September 27th, 2021. The time is now 7:30. Call to order. Everyone's here. Dave, Mark, and myself. There's no seating of alternates. Doesn't look like there's any applications to be received.
Actually, we have two that just came in after we did the agenda. It'll be for 0 Clint Eldridge Road. It will be a wetland application with an associated timber harvest.
Okay.
So that'll be on the agenda for October.
So we'll have to amend these minutes then?
Yeah, we'll when we do the minutes, we'll reflect that the applications were received.
Okay, well, I gotta turn on my audio. So the next thing is approval of minutes from July 26th, 2021. Have we had time to review those? I believe that was pretty
Yeah, I don't have those. I don't have those minutes. I looked for them and I couldn't find them, so I'll have to go by what you guys say.
I believe with the change in guard with our assistant, we may not have received those.
I think that we didn't receive them. I didn't get them.
Okay, I will. There was a few things that I had Ashley follow up on before she was headed out. So if she didn't get those, we'll get those to you for October if you just want to table it.
Yeah,
Very good.
Can I get a motion to table those minutes till October?
I'm so moved.
All in favor?
Second. Aye.
I,
Right. So moved. We'll review those in October. Next is a public hearing. We have nothing on the board for a public hearing, so we're going to move on to new business. Application for a timber harvest, application number TH 21-2, timber harvest, 101 Schofield Road, owner Mike Logan, applicant Carl Rando. I believe this is also in goes with the adjacent property at 44 Old River Road, if I'm not mistaken. Timber harvest application number 21.3. Carl, are you on the line?
Yes, I am.
Okay, would you like to speak to these applications, please?
Yep, on Schofield Road, on 101 Schofield Road. We're going to be doing a thinning on that property. And we're going to be, the landing on 101 Schofield Road will be accessed from the south corner of the property, which we have given you guys a map. The landing is marked in pink. And we'll be using that as for a landing. We will be using a 2-inch stone, 10 feet wide, approximately 20 feet long for a tracking pad coming off Schofield Road. There are no wetlands on this property. We will not be crossing any wetlands or any wetlands whatsoever on the property. And we'll be using the timber harvesting with mechanized machine, and we will be using the best guidelines in the timber harvesting from the state of Connecticut.
Okay, can you speak to some of the information that you had in your application regarding the size of the trees and what you're looking to do out here?
Yeah, we're doing a selective cut, 12 inches and up, and it's a thinning. It's not a clear cut. It's basically basically a selective cut, 12 inches and larger.
Okay. And the benefit of that is to what? Just so.
Oh, we're actually trying to do a thinning on the property to manage the timber that's in there. And we'll be, down the road, if the people want to possibly do something in another 15 years or so, they can go back and cut the timber again. At this particular time, they're looking basically to generate a little bit of revenue to pay their taxes. That's why they're doing this.
So leaving the 12 inch and less, that allows for additional growth and
Correct.
propagation of those trees?
Correct.
Okay.
Will that be all of the 12-inch and larger, or just selected ones?
No, we're doing a selective harvest on the property. There's going to be other trees that the 12-inch will be left behind. There's also and larger trees. It's basically a thinning. It's a thinning so that the landowner can do another harvesting in another 15 or 20 years and get another revenue so that they can generate a better forest, better growth of the timber that's in there.
Mhm.
There is a lot of gypsy moth kill that's happened in there. So we'll be taking every bit of that out and basically regenerate the forest, make it a healthier forest.
Is it mostly hardwood, or is there
It's,
softwood?
it's all hardwood. There's no hardwood whatsoever we'll be taking off the property. There's very few softwood trees that are in there. The ones that are in there are not mature enough to be taken out. So we're going to actually leave them to actually grow and become a better forest, better trees.
Well, like I said before, like this parcel and the 44 Old River Road,
Yes,
kind of interconnected, right? So
correct.
you're
Correct.
gonna
We're also going to be logging Old 44 River Road, and we're going to access that piece of particular property out the same road on Schofield. We're going to use the same landing. This abuts the back of the property on Schofield Road, the entire piece. It does get very steep down to Route 32. So there's going to be a huge buffer there that's not going to be cut, that we can't even access, but over half the property will be accessed, and we will be taking Old 44 River Road out to Old Schofield Road. And basically it's the same thing. There's no wetlands on that property, and there's no stream crossings or wetlands crossings.
Okay.
And it's basically,
Oops, he hit the mute button.
Go ahead, Carl.
yeah, we're gonna be doing the same exact thing on Schofield Road as we are on 44 Old River Road. It's gonna be a 12-inch selective cut. We're not taking out any softwood on that particular piece neither. It's all hardwood that'll be taken out, and we're basically doing the exact same thing to make it a better forest, so that in the future we'll have other trees to cut.
My question is for Mike. Do we need to know like the estimate of the board feet for this at all, or?
I don't think you need to know. Let me see, go back to the application.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. I don't think that's
According to what I've read, you don't have to have a board footage down.
Yeah, I think the way that we set the application up is that we require them to provide the information that they need to give to you.
okay.
I think that's right.
A pretty good time of year to harvest after the trees are starting to shut down and the ground's starting to hard up. When
Definitely. And,
So-
you know, the leaves are coming off the trees, so it'll actually look even better up there once we start in out there.
yeah,
So when do you plan on starting?
The way it looks, probably, I would say a month to 2 months, we're gonna be starting up there. We got a job that's going on in Killingly right now. We're trying to finish up that job. We probably got a little over a month left there to do. And as soon as that's done, we plan on going here.
That'd be late November, December.
Yep.
well, it's not a bad thing. I mean, all the oak and hickory nuts. We got a lot of oak and hickory out there, Carl,
Oh, yes, definitely.
and
Red
maple.
oak, black oak, white oak, maple. There's quite a bit. Most of it on that particular piece is oak. There's not a whole lot of hardwood on that property.
Yeah,
So it's definitely a hardwood stand.
well, that's good for you. Or like for the regeneration, you're gonna have a lot of like, you know, oak nuts and, you know, you didn't say hickory, but you know,
Oh, there is some hickory on the property, but not too much.
the oak seeds will be down and
Yeah,
So
we
what
gotta just disturb the ground up a little bit. That'll get it to regenerate.
yeah.
And it'll get another source of trees coming up.
Yep, as long as you can keep the deer off them, you'll be good.
Exactly, exactly. Our biggest thing right now is hopefully the damn gypsy moths don't come back. That's the biggest thing that's been hurting a lot of these lands.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm cutting one right now in Killingly. That's probably 35% of it's been dead from the gypsy moths.
that stuff, that's nasty to cut because the tops break off on you.
Well, they're very dangerous. We have mechanized piece of equipment now. The state's starting to request a lot of that now. So we got stuff that's actually cut this tree down. We can cut up to 37 inches. So we actually have something that cuts this tree down and we get it on the ground. We actually process it up by hand once it's on the ground. It's a lot safer.
Right.
And then with any of the slash and stuff, what's your plan for that?
The state requires a lop of 6 foot. We try to take it down to 4 foot. We'd rather get it down as low as possible. We want to keep some of it because you want to have the new existing trees coming up through. Because like you said, the deer will just eat every little tender victual that's coming up. So
Yeah.
it's a bare minimum 6 foot is what our contract says, but we like to get it down below 6.
Okay. And then like, what about like the slash and stuff around, well, I know we'll have to go talk about the next application down near River Road, but as far as like slash piles and stuff, what's your plan for those?
Well, we pull out as much firewood as we possibly can off the tops. And then the slash, basically, we leave there. We pull everything back, 10 to 15 feet from every boundary line, from the roads. If there was brooks or anything like that, we pull everything back. We go by the best management practices that the state guidelines require. That's what we do.
Yeah.
So we try to keep up with that, make sure that everything looks decent. We try to lop it even further down next to the roads to make it look a little bit better from view too.
Okay. Mark, did you have any questions or any comments?
It looks pretty straightforward.
Would you like to make a motion?
Not necessarily. I think Dave's better at it than I am.
Thank you, Mark.
You have plenty of experience, Mark. Come on.
I moved that we accept this application as written and approve it tonight.
All right, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Any further discussion?
Nope,
Any abstentions?
we have to say yes first.
I forget how it goes, kind of. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any abstentions?
Nope.
All right, thank you, Mr. Rando. We're going to move on to application Timber Harvest TH 21-3, Timber Harvest at 44 Old River Road. Owner Violette Lindsay, applicant Carl Rando. So, you know, as previously discussed, I think they're going to be accessing this portion of the property from the Schofield. What was that 101?
Yes, 101 Road. Yep.
101 Road, and kind of you know, same kind of application and methods. You did speak to kind of, because it's kind of steep down towards River Road there, Route 32.
Yeah, it gets really, really steep, and then there's actually a ledge, sheer ledge that's dropped off there. We're gonna be at least 100 feet away from that, because it gets too steep to even get near there.
Yeah.
You know, we're gonna access as far down as we possibly can with our machines. That's basically what we're gonna do. The reason why we're accessing 44 Old River Road out to Schofield Road is because her property is down at the bottom of the hill and has to be all skidded, would be skidded down to her property. And this actually goes down to Schofield Road a lot better. It all falls with the contour of the land, a lot easier to skid there. Plus on Old 44 River Road, she really doesn't have a real good access to get at her timber without going over her septic system, and we don't want to do that.
Is this the same property owner?
No,
Oh, different.
nope, totally different property owner.
Oh, okay.
Yep, this is the second piece of the property on 44 River Road. It is Dixon, Lindsay Dixon.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's her property that abuts this. And she was gonna log it a few years ago when I was looking at it, but there was really no good access point to get
Oh, I gotcha.
to her property without going across her septic system. And I highly recommended that she didn't do that. So by getting the one on Schofield that borders her on the backside, this was a perfect opportunity for her to have this done.
Oh, I can see that now. Okay.
yeah,
And it's basically the exact same thing. We're gonna be doing a 12-inch and up cut, selective cut, and there's no wetlands crossings. We're gonna be skidding everything out from her property to 101 Schofield Road. And basically, we're gonna be doing the exact same thing as the best forest management practices that the state guidelines use, lopping our tops to 6 foot or less.
Yeah.
So it's basically the exact same thing. This is probably one of the most easiest ones that we've ever done as far as properties are concerned, because there's no wetlands or wetlands crossings at all on it.
that's unusual for the town of Willington, which is a swamp.
Oh, believe me. You're right. Usually there's always a wetlands or a wetlands crossings that we're doing, and this particular piece just seems to be high and dry, so.
Well, I have to say, this is not the first application you guys have come to us with, and you guys have been doing a great job in our town, and I appreciate it. And
Well, that's what we want to do. There's several more that we're planning on doing here in this town. We have a few more signed already, and we're going to be presenting them in front of you too.
okay. Well, it's a good thing, it's, we got to keep our forests healthy, and this is a way to do that. And you guys, I think, are doing it in the right way
That's
based
what we
on what
wanna-
I've seen.
That's what we want to do.
All right, is there any questions from the commission about this application at the moment?
I'm good with it.
Am I gonna, would we like to have a motion?
I move that we accept this application as is, and yeah, that's it.
Can I get a second?
I'll second it.
I'm in favor.
Right, so looking to move timber harvest application TH 21-3, timber harvest 44 Old River Road, owner Lindsay Dyken, applicant Carl Rando. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? All right, thank you, Mr. Rando.
Thank you very much.
Moving on to old business, there is none. Correspondence. Mike, do you have any correspondence at all?
Nothing under correspondence. Nope.
Next is a staff report and discussion. Update on Love's Travel Stop.
Woo woo.
So I just, figure we'd leave this on as a standing item. I don't have any. I'll put on my camera, but you have to pardon the fact that I'm sitting in a tank top. I'm wearing a sling, and it's a little hard to get on a button shirt.
Well, all I can see is my hat and shirt.
Perfect. So, things are progressing. Obviously, you've seen the project is underway. The road has been closed as of last week. So I asked for just a quick little email to come from Katie, who's one of the engineers, been doing some doing the site inspections for us, so that I could present it to you to kind of give you an idea of where they are. So I'll just read it quickly. It's not long. So they've been conducting inspections 3 times per week to review the advancement of the work according to the approved site plans and sedimentation and erosion controls. No major issues have been encountered since the construction began. Phase 1 work is nearly complete, which includes clearing, stumping, topsoil stripping, and construction of 2 stormwater basins. Phase 2 work, including clearing and stumping of the middle of the site and excavation of Polster Road, is expected to continue to proceed and largely begin later this week. There have been several large rain events since construction began. The site sediment and erosion controls are performing as designed to this point. The site contractor has been extremely responsive to any repairs, maintenance, or adjustments for erosion controls we have requested. Sediment and erosion controls are inspected daily, both by the design engineering firm Fuss & O'Neill and the project management firm Harris United, who are both on site full time.
Okay.
So Fuss & O'Neill does daily site inspections, which they provide to us. And most of the time those include photos. And then anytime we have a site inspection, we get those reports as well. Their site reports go to our clerk of the works engineers. So we're sharing that information. They've been reviewing it, and I've been circled on a couple of emails. I wanted our folks to have an opportunity to tell Fuss what they were looking for. So Fuss is going to be providing a phase 1 substantial completion certification. So our guys basically said, we want you to include the following items so that we can make sure that you've inspected and hit those major points. So communication's been flowing. We haven't had any major issues. there's been a lot of earthwork, but it'll certainly continue. Hopefully, if it doesn't continue to rain, we will kind of keep things going smoothly.
Have you done a site visit at all?
I was on site. Oh boy, I guess it was last week, but it was after hours, so there wasn't anybody else there. I went by on Saturday and I saw they were working, but I didn't have time to stop. But I can make arrangements to go out there, or if any of you are interested, we can also make that arrangement.
Yeah,
I
I'd like to
drove-
know, like,
I
when,
passed it
when,
last week as well. And it looked like they were moving along and doing pretty well. There was no mud on the roads. And it didn't look, I couldn't see any erosion. Of course, I didn't go off the road either.
I think I'm pretty sure their equipment is all GPS guided. So that puts a bit of more confidence in me when they're going out and moving it, because it's not just someone who's, there from 7 to 5 pushing dirt around. They actually are going to be tied to something. So that should mean that they're not moving the same piece of dirt twice, in theory.
yeah, that's actually a benefit to them, because that GPS guided equipment, that's top notch. Like, you're not going beyond your limits of disturbance. You're sticking to what's on the plan. So kudos to them for that. One thing like, as far as we're concerned as the Wetlands Commission, like, once they start getting, like, building the discharge for the sanitary, I think that's when we should probably start taking a closer look and making sure that they're doing what they're supposed to on those plans, especially, they're building that secondary, like, stormwater retention. Making
So
sure
by
that,
we, do you mean the commission, or by we, do you mean the town?
well, the town,
So
And those are-
the clerk that we have on site, their job is to basically make sure that they build everything in compliance with the plan, but also that they're following the sequence and not building ahead of, they don't want to skip step 5 and go to step 6.
Gotcha.
So they have the plans, and they're out there, making sure that they're following all of that exactly. They walked all the clearing limits, they walked all the ENS, they did a staking for the clearing limits first. They walked all of those things. So
Okay.
I've been, in no uncertain terms, they're to be on site as frequently as necessary to make sure that everything is done in accordance with the plans. I've sort of told them they need to use their judgment, and if that means being out there every day for a period of time, that's what they'll do.
Okay, perfect. That sounds exactly right. Dave?
Yep, sounds good to me.
Mark?
There is a separate certification that will need to be provided to the state, because part of the project is the subsurface wastewater absorption system, that constructed system with the retaining walls and the fill and the liner. So there's also some stuff that they're going to have to be looking out for at the state, because the state also required that there be a clerk of the works for the project. They pretty much are tracking all of that, and in their agreement that we have set up between the town, Loves, and the clerk can act on behalf of the town, so they can shut the job down at any time if they're not comfortable with the way things are proceeding.
Do we get copies of what gets sent to the state?
So I can give you copies. I mean, I can give you copies of any of the reports, the weekly reports or inspection logs. They're really big documents, so they're sometimes hard to email, but yeah.
I didn't mean that I wanted to see it personally on my computer. I just wanted to know, when I say we, I mean the town.
Yeah, yep.
Right.
Because part of what the clerk is reviewing for is the state permit as well. So all that stuff will be part of our record.
Okay, good.
Excellent.
You've thought of everything, Mike.
Yeah, well, you can look at the lack of hair that I have up here, and it'll be the month and a half of contract negotiations between all of these different entities, you know, and trying to figure out how we get a bond for this. And it was a lot of legal documents that I had not yet spent a lot of time reading, but had to become very familiar with.
Well, now you're the expert, so
Yep.
go-to guy.
Yeah, well, you will approve another one of these things when I retire.
You're the guru. You're the guru.
When you say you, yeah,
Well, I'm satisfied with that. Sounds like things are moving as planned, and they're taking all the steps that they need to. And
I agree.
yep.
move on to public comment. We will now hear any brief comments at this time. Ralph, I see that you're online. Do you have any comments or questions for the commission?
You really want me to say anything?
It's your time.
It's
No.
not a question of want.
The only thing, and I don't know how restrictive you are about things that were on the agenda, but the one item that I had some concerns about was the trucks accessing Schofield Road with those two rather large harvest areas. That's a dicey road traffic wise, and hopefully they'll manage that correctly. Other than
Yeah.
that,
It looks like the sight lines are pretty good on that. I don't see an issue where they've got the landing.
I can't see the plans from where I sit, so I
Okay.
can't comment. I can't
No,
comment
I
on
just
that,
wanted
Mark.
to make that comment, Ralph. That's all.
Okay.
But it's a
Um,
pretty straight area.
No, I
Mike,
understand.
would you like to Mike, yeah, share it. Here you go, Ralph.
That's the,
If you bring up the other plan, it shows both
I've
and it
looked,
gives you a
I've looked
better
at the
picture of the
maps.
road.
I've looked at the maps.
now you've got to admit that that's better than doing it on 32.
Well, unless you had oxen, and maybe you could do it from 32, but
Over the cliff.
Or a helicopter.
a helicopter would work, sure. No, I'm familiar with roughly. I'm familiar with the topography on both parcels.
Typically, these guys they run what, like the log trucks. They're loaders, so you know it's not an 18-wheeler. It's not a large kind of vehicle.
If they put a flagman out on Schofield when they're coming out of the woods with a load, it would certainly be wise for their safety.
Well, I think that they're probably will look it over and figure that out for themselves because they don't want to have accidents.
Well, nobody does. I get that.
Because
As far as that other project goes, I haven't, other than driving by it once or twice. It pains me to drive by, so I haven't paid much attention.
we understand that, but here we are.
Yeah, I know. Enough said. Other than that, I have nothing. I just wanted to see what was going on.
Well, thank you, Ralph. Thanks for stopping by. We don't have many visitors.
I know the peanut gallery is very small these days.
Yeah, and we
You guys are out of practice, you know.
We're what?
You're out of practice.
Out of practice.
Out of practice. You have not handled many applications recently.
No,
No,
we
we
have
have
not.
not.
It's just a friendly comment. Please don't take it wrong.
No. What was that say? I guess no.
I just think back to when we were looking at the Loves project, and the day the meeting started and the day I got home from the meeting were different days.
Mhm.
Because by the time we finished and I actually got my butt home, it was post 12. So when I see a participant list of 5, I don't necessarily get teary-eyed.
Well, it sounds like there's more applications coming in.
What I will say is, things have been real quiet and we haven't really seen a lot, but I think we may have some stuff coming in. We've had, people asking questions or getting prepared with applications and site plans and blah, blah, blah. So there may be some work to do in the winter. So maybe we'll have a little bit more. And the reason why we've been meeting, strictly virtual is we're still trying to get we've got the tech pretty much set up now to be able to do hybrid meetings, but some of the bandwidth in the lower level is not as great for running the video and coordinating with other folks. So that's why we've been doing it virtual the last couple of meetings.
Okay. Well, that's fine with me. I'm very comfortable here at home.
Mhm.
Yeah, me too.
Particularly as it gets cold and snowy.
Yeah. I actually started my wood fire tonight because it got cold in here.
Wow.
So I'm going to move on to adjournment. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Is there anyone else from the public here to comment before I move to adjournment? Dave, would you like to make a motion?
I moved that we adjourn. But
Do I
I
have a
think that your power is crumbling there because you're just supposed to smack the gravel and say, we're done.
Sorry, Dave. I'd like to keep
This
proper procedure.
semblance of a democracy, right?
I guess so. Is that what we're calling it?
Yes,
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Well, this is the closing of the September 27th, 2021 Wellington Inland Wetlands and Watercourse Commission meeting. I thank you all for attending, and we'll see you next month.
All right.